But I have already started setting something up here. You'll notice some cables being ran. It's mainly just the dense cable we plugged into, and I've started kind of carrying it around. So basically what I'm going to do is I want to, first up we're going to set some level emitters down here. And we're going to do 4 of them because we're going to set up 4 of our magma crucibles. Now, like I said, you could do just 1 bottler and 1 magma crucible if you wanted to. It's not that much of a stretch to set that up. It's not too crazy. But we are going to use toggle buses. And let's run our smart gray cable across like this. Set up toggle buses here, like so. And basically what toggle buses are, I covered them actually in the Britannia episode, but just in case you don't know, basically they turn, when the standard ones get a redstone signal, they're going to allow data to be, sent up through, the cables and stuff that are attached right there. And then we're just going to cable anchor here, and let's set up some smart cable there, and let's go ahead and cable anchor the tops of those as well, and cable anchor, or cables running right there. So basically these level emitters are all going to take a signal, or take a spot in our cabling. And let's see, I wonder why these are saying 4 of 8 used. Not entirely sure. 4 of 8. All of this says 4 of 8. Okay, maybe if I bring... not that one. Yeah, they still all say 4 of 8. Not entirely sure why that is, actually. Because these are all separate, separate lines. They should say 0 of 8, 0 of 8, and 4 of 8. But I don't know. Anyway, we'll see if this all plugs up. Yeah, all of this is saying 4 of 8. This is like really, really janky. Huh. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes as we connect things. Oh, give me a second. Let me pop down here and see if somewhere I have 4 lines connected somehow. Oh, you know what it is? I never actually... What it probably could be. I forgot to actually finish setting this up. So, now that we have the memory card, let's go ahead and shift right click on this P2P. And then we'll come over here and we're going to shift click on the opposite end. So, that way they know that they're linked together. Successfully saved settings. No, shit. Not shift right click, just right click. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay. And we'll get these 2 linked up. So that way our channels will be sent, and hopefully that'll fix, whatever's causing that to have 4 channels on everything already. No, it's still reading it as 4 of 8. I don't know why that is. And even if I go back here, it's still just 4 of 32. It shouldn't transfer all that stuff all over the place. But anyway, so now that we have that, the level emitters are basically going to read, the AE system. We can set it and say, oh, there it goes. Now it's smart. Okay. It's going to read and say, like, if we put an item here or something, oh, you know what? I didn't think about it not... Is there a fluid? Yes, there's a fluid level emitter. Shit, that's what we need. Okay, give me just a second. Let me go get that crafted. Okay, so now that we have our fluid level emitters, sorry about that. Totally made the wrong ones there. Let's plug these up. These are from extra sales, by the way. So, of course, if you don't have extra sales, if you're not actually playing Crackpack at the moment, you might have a little bit more issue plugging this up. at least with this method. So let's go ahead and set that up now. Okay, so now that we have that, what we're going to do is set up some... We need our ultimate fluid tanks, and I should have those crafted by now. Okay. And go ahead and request all of those. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our fluid tanks right along here. And I will have to facade all this because, of course, these are clear and whatnot, so that's fine. And we're going to set them up just like that. And then what we're going to do is put some fluid storage buses on here. So let's pop around to here and start laying these down. So that way our AE system is going to read the fluid that's in here and say, okay, this is, you know, full, or we have this much fluid in the system, and so we'll have access to all of this. And then the next thing that we're going to need is, let me actually go get that stuff crafted up. We've got pretty much everything prepped for it, but we need some magma crucibles. So let's get some nether bricks and get our magma crucibles. And okay, actually let's do it over here because we'll go ahead and make a pattern for it, I do believe. Okay, do that, and then we need that leadstone energy cell. Okay, that's how you make a magma crucible. Okay, so now if we tell it, whoops, let me put this in here real quick, and then we'll tell it to go ahead and make us 3 more of those. So make us 3 more magma crucibles. Okay, I'm short on ender pearls. Anyway, I think this episode we're just going to set up one of these on camera because I know the episode's already running long. We've had to cover a lot of stuff this episode. But I wanted to go ahead, you know, and start getting some of the fluid setups going, and I think this bottler system is going to be really, really cool. And basically we're going to set up our magma crucibles right here, and we are going to say that you're going to input from the back, and you're going to output out the top. And then we're going to need some Draconic Evolution stuffs. I do think we're going to go to the end fairly soon and kill the Ender Dragon so I can start getting hearts and upgrading this stuff, because I don't really like the lower grade stuff. It's called wireless, yeah, transceivers. Or energy relays. I need one of these. Thanks. And should be everything that I need, I think. Yes. Okay. Let's get our crystal binder and start getting this set up. So basically we're just going to run our wireless energy transceiver. See, the room would be right up there. Okay. That's why I want the draconic ones, because I know we could go like under the ground and still have that set up. We might be able to do it actually. Let's see. We're going to want to connect it up to there, so let's break this. I've got to rebuild a lot of stuff in here so I'm not terribly concerned about breaking the floor at this point. Okay, and what would be the closest connection? I want to say it's like right over here. So let's go ahead and always do that. bind this to this. And then let's bind this to that. And then we're going to bind that up here. And device linked. And honestly, the reason I don't do accents and stuff when I first set up a building is because of stuff like this. Because we're just going to tear it all apart at first. Alright, so this magma crucible now has energy. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to set up an export bus onto this. And this first one, let's go ahead and do redstone. Just as an example. And we're going to tell this, let me grab some redstone here. We're going to tell it that it's going to export redstone. And if you notice, this should be, yeah, there we go. It's getting redstone now. And so basically it's dumping that destabilized redstone into this ultimate fluid tank. And it's going to keep doing that for a while. And what we're going to do is we're going to say 112 millibuckets. We're going to tell this level emitter that once it hits... Oh yeah, I'm going to have to get a bucket, aren't I? Shoot. Let me grab a bucket. A bucket or a bottle. Something of that nature. And let's grab ourselves a bucket of this. And we're going to tell this level emitter that it's going to emit that signal when the levels are below limit. And we're going to say keep keep 64 buckets of this stuff on hand at a time. So basically this is going to, you know, keep going. Like if I was to, let's see, how much do we have in there? About 7 buckets. If I was to drop this right now to say 4,000 buckets, you'll see that this should, levels are below limit. Is it not reading this stuff? Okay, I did have a dirt moment. I have to actually disconnect all these lines to keep the redstone from coming through. That was my bad. So now we should... See, I don't understand. Like, this is not emitting a redstone signal. These still are when I've told them to only emit when it's below 1 millibucket of redstone in the system. They're still emitting. Like, it seems like it takes a little while for this to, like, really go, oh, okay, well, now it makes sense. So, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Eventually it'll pick that up and it'll shut off. Like this one's shut off but still emitting a signal or something. I don't know. I've tested these. They don't emit signals. Like if I put a toggle bus over here, it's not going to turn on with this. At least the standard ones don't work that way. So I don't know. I have no clue. But maybe eventually it'll sort itself out. Maybe after I relog or something. Anyhow, so I think what we're going to do is let's... I mean, eventually that's going to fill up. So that's kind of what I want anyway. So I'm not too concerned about it. But let's see. I want to say that an export bus can feed into an open crate. Maybe. Or an item... I know an item conduit can. But what I'm thinking is we'll plug up our interface. Like right here. And if you wanted to do, you know, just one bottler, you can use the fluid interface. To connect onto this. But anyhow, we're going to use just fluid export buses, which I should have. Okay, that's one too. I think what we're going to do is plug those in the back, I think is where the fluid goes in. Let me double check here. It tells in the manual I know the top is power, and I believe fluid is input through the central port on the lower level. That would be this right here. So we'll just plug in our export bus here, and we're going to say you get destabilized redstone. That's the only thing you're going to receive. And I don't know about those things. Those things are like retarded. I don't get it. And you're going to plug in right here. And so this should start getting some destabilized redstone in a minute when it needs it, I believe. And then we'll plug this up, and basically now we should be able to set up a recipe involving the destabilized redstone. So let's take a look here. And okay. So destabilized redstone. I've never been. I hate trying to find stuff in the bottler. I hate it. Redstone energy flux duct, I believe you can do. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just need some empty redstone flux ducts. So let's teach it how to do that. There's some empty ones right here. And we'll tell it that if it takes one of these, okay, we don't have one. We can see if it works though right here. And we'll take this over there and we'll throw it on the bottler conveyor belt, just like our open crate would. And I've never actually tried hooking like an interface directly up to an open crate. If it doesn't work, we can do a chest with some pipes and all that good stuff. But now we should see that get stuck and not move. Oh, because it doesn't have power yet. My bad. Let me hook power up into this. There we go. So it's going around, it hooks in, and I just saw it turn, and there we go. So we now have our redstone energy flux duct. So that's working. Everything on that end is working. So I just have to plug this up, you know, into the system here. So what I'm going to do is, let's get a couple things. Sorry this is taking a little bit because it was just like an idea I had for that room, and so I've kind of been working through it here. And let's do a, do we want to do a chest? Yeah, might as well. We're not going to see that area because I'm going to wall it in. And let's do something about this inventory situation. So, do that. And then just a couple item conduits, right? Couple of those, and we're going to make a pattern that says if you send it one of those, you're going to get one of these. Go ahead and encode that, and then let's see. I may actually want to change that interface into a block, right? Okay. Oh, I need a conveyor belt. That was the other thing that I needed. One of these. And that. So basically that, the way it works, I can't remember if we've used them in this series, but anything that goes over that conveyor belt, it's going to treat it like a hopper, and it's going to drop it into, you know, whatever's below it. So let's set up our chest right here, and then our dropping conveyor belt. No. No. Right there. And then we'll just rotate this like so, and then we'll set up, let me actually change this over, to a normal sized interface. Put that there. And we'll give it this pattern. And then I just want to run a couple item conduits up from the chest. Just because it's the easiest way to input without using up another channel and all that mess. So we will just... I didn't get enough of those, did I? Let me order a couple more of these. Oops. Item conduits. Let's get, say, 10 of those. And let's go ahead and, okay, right here. All these bags I carry on me, it's ridiculous. Alright. Basically, we're just going to plug it up to there, disable all this junk, and we're going to say you're going to export, or extract, sorry, and you're going to insert. And so now, if we teach it how to make those redstone conduits, which, I mean, those are kind of more of an example. We will probably use those for a couple things we'll craft, but for the most part, we don't really need those. But if we teach it how to make these redstone energy flux ducts, say, oops. Is this only made with hardened glass? No, okay. I thought it took fused quartz. Fused quartz. Which we'll teach it how to make hardened glass, but mainly for building. I like fused quartz. It's just really simple and easy to make, because nether quartz isn't really a big deal. Okay, anyway, if we tell it to make the redstone energy flux ducts, and we put this pattern into there, now we should be able to just straight up request the finished product. And so let's go ahead, oops, let's go ahead and request, say, 30 of these. So now they should start crafting those, and then it's going to send them up here to actually be filled, and we should be able to see it running. Okay, I think for some reason the open crate's registering that as a block space, and it won't drop it, you know, very effectively down. So we're going to set up our open crate right up here. We'll set this to insert, and set it to the brown channel, actually. And now if we throw in, say, these redstone energy flux ducts, you'll see that they drop onto there, get pulled around, and crafted. Okay, so now we're all set, and it's being input into the system. Everything runs good, and this will keep us filled up with redstone. If you notice, it did finally shut off. They finally worked. They just take a really long time to register, I guess. I don't really know why that is, but it does seem to take them a pretty long time to register everything and change over. So I don't know if that's, you know, always present, or if maybe after I reload it'll fix it or what. But so anyway, now we have a working redstone bottler, and then I'll try to, between this episode and next, I'll get the other 4 set up, because it's really the exact same process except for like glowstone and stuff. But I know this episode's already running long, and all that, so I am going to end it out there. If you guys enjoyed it, as always, be sure and hit that like button. Be sure and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And feel free to comment and let me know what you think about the build. And then we'll continue working on here, because I have a lot of really fun, I think, fluid ideas to set up here. And I am probably going to hook up those tanks with fluid storage as well. So hopefully, you know, we may not even eventually use the ender tanks to move fluid, except for stuff like lava and stuff. Some things it's a little bit more convenient for, but you know, eventually we may have just everything plugged up to the AE system, and there we go, you know, and not even use the ender tank setup. But we'll see. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to end it out there. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're looking forward to more fluid fun in the future. But next episode, of course, it's going to be magic, and we're going to be working down in the Botania area. I did have a request to automate a the wool flower. I can't think of the name of it. Somewhere in here. Spectrolis. That's it. I did have a comment asking to automate the Spectrolis. Now, the Spectrolis, I do believe we're going to automate and set up in our library area. So it might be a couple episodes from now when I automate that Spectrolis in this series, because down here we're kind of focusing on getting the item production, of course, set up. And we've already got our mana production, which is the entropiniums. I think that's really going to power this entire room, especially once it gets balanced out and we don't need the TNT, just constantly being made, without us actually doing anything. So that's kind of what's holding us back. That's why it's not filled right now, is because we keep running out of sand. So I'm going to try to get that fixed between this episode and next, and maybe start setting up like a really big sand and gravel production, stuff like that. Mainly sand, I think, because we do use a lot of sand with this base, because it's a lot of glass, a lot of applied energistics, TNT, all that stuff takes a lot of sand. So the Spectrolis, we won't automate it in this series until we get up to the library. But I do think it would be fun to set that up there. However, if that's something pressing, and you guys want me to automate that immediately, do let me know in the comments, and I will do a automation video for it, just a separate, side video. So, but if it's not pressing, we will get to that once we get to the library and the enchanting area and everything, because I'm going to use the Spectrolis to actually power our Botania enchanting up there. I think that would be kind of fun to do. So, yeah, I think that I've said all I need to say. So until next episode, do take care, and I hope to see you guys then.